Reimagining Success, episode 259. You're listening to the Reimagining Success podcast, where we help you design a business and a life that allows you freedom from the 9 to 5. I'm your host, Anna Lundberg, ex-corporate good girl, now a business mentor and coach, author, mum of 2, and I'm here to help you create more freedom, flexibility and fulfillment. Now let's get started with redefining success outside of the 9 to 5. Hello, welcome back to the podcast as we look at the importance of a growth mindset today. And this is in our series of thinking like an entrepreneur, whether you're an entrepreneur, intrapreneur, or anything in between. So this idea of a growth mindset comes from Carol Dweck, her TED Talk and her book, aptly named Mindset. And my own personal experience of this fixed mindset is very much at school, when you're told you're good at this, you're not good at that, and basically there's no point in trying because you're just not a natural at this sport, or you're not good at languages, you're not good at maths. And lots of studies, found that if you put a problem in front of someone, a child, let's say, and I assume the same with a grown-up, with an adult, if you have a fixed mindset, I put this maths problem in front of you, you'll go, oh, I can't do it, I can't do math, there's no point in trying. If you have a growth mindset, you say, oof, this is quite hard. I haven't learned this before, but maybe I can apply what I learned in a different area to this. How can I learn? Maybe for next time, I'm going to try and study more, or read this, or ask for help, and so on, right? So the growth mindset is really embracing challenges as an opportunity to grow. I don't know yet, but I will find out. Finding a way to overcome the obstacle, taking feedback, not like dying a sad death because we take it so personally, but also not ignoring it, but really seeing the wisdom, finding the nugget of truth in that feedback and using it to learn and grow. And also seeing other people's examples of success as, almost like role models, or certainly inspiration rather than a threat. It's so easy to look at people on social media, to see people and go, oh, I can't believe how can they have so much success? I'm better than they are, at least as good. It's so unfair, right? This resentment. And that's not particularly positive or fair. You have no idea what they've done to get to where they are, right? You don't know from what you're seeing. And also, instead, isn't it so much more powerful and positive to go, wow, look at what they've achieved. I can do that too. And double down on getting there yourself as well. So the problem with this fixed mindset that I think we get from school is, as ever, that we lead to that kind of stagnation. There's a limit, right, for what we can achieve because I'm not good at this. There's no point in trying. Oh, I'm too old now anyway, so I can't learn any new skills. We forget about all that neuroplasticity and everything. We forget about all those examples of people who have had huge success and learned and pivoted when they're older, and just think, oh, it's too late. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. That's just not my thing. I think also the fixed mindset can foster a fear of failure. Say that quickly 10 times. And it holds you back from taking those calculated risks that we've been talking about the last few weeks. Embracing failure is a really important learning opportunity in entrepreneurship. And I use entrepreneurship quite loosely because, of course, we're not going to succeed the first time. Of course, we have to make mistakes as we learn, as we try things, as we look for the right way to do things, right? So we need to get better. We need more experience. We need help. The market needs to evolve, whatever it is. So that fear of failure actually makes things even worse. We don't even try. We stay in that comfort or sort of apathy zone and don't try to stretch ourselves and grow. And this is all coming together, right? We talked about adaptability a couple of weeks ago. The fixed mindset obviously gets in the way of that because we're not going to pivot our strategies. We're not going to respond to change in the market dynamics. We can't, because this is what I'm good at. This is what I've always done. I see this again and again, and people who want to change roles, change industry, or start a business, they're like, but this is my job title. This is what I do. It's no criticism. It's just, natural that something we've been doing for so long, we sort of, our comfort zone shrinks around that, and we think that's all we can do. As, when we're on parental leave and come back to work and, oh my goodness, we've been home and can I still do my job? And so, of course we can. It's just different to what we've been doing. So it takes over that fear, right? And if we hold on to that fixed mindset, that's really going to keep us back. On the other hand, The growth mindset is when we really feel empowered to embrace challenges, as I said before, as opportunities for growth. We can tackle those complex problems. We see it as kind of almost a fun thing to do, right? Oh, let's get to grips. This is a really tough challenge. Let's see how we can solve this. Right. I'm very sort of, solutions focused. Let's dig into this intricate problem and find a way. Positive can-do attitude. I don't know why I always have to say that in American accent. Sorry, and a very bad one at that. Lifelong learning, I say this all the time, but it's such an important value for me. It doesn't have to be, and I remind you all, as I have to remind myself, formal learning. We don't have to go back and do a PhD or an MBA or even, a degree, a course, whatever. We can do, but it's not about the formal qualification. It's reading, it's listening, it's learning, and so on. So actively seeking out new knowledge, kind of cross-fertilizing from other businesses, other industries, other fields to enhance your own personal development and your business as well. And then, of course, the growth mindset is so important for the other important traits like resilience and grit and perseverance. We have to persist through those inevitable setbacks and obstacles. We have to use our growth mindset to overcome those challenges, because otherwise we'll give up at the first hurdle. And that's where we see people who just give up too soon, who don't give it a chance. And unfortunately, I think the world is kind of missing out on their potential there, as they are themselves. So, okay, what can you do in practice? Well, I would encourage you to, as I do myself, to seek feedback and critique. This is something we're really missing, actually, as solopreneurs. We don't really get feedback because we don't have the boss, the manager, the mentors and peers necessarily, automatically at least, as we would in an organisation. So if you're in quite an isolated role, or if you're working for yourself, I'd really encourage you to seek that out. Whether you join a mastermind, you create a mastermind of peers where you're not paying anything, you're all taking in turns. You look for mentors in your organisation externally, previous managers you've worked with. You look for people in your industry. Those of us who do coaching and mentoring as a paid thing, you can't ask necessarily for things like that for free, but certainly it's important to look out, seek out those people who will give you honest feedback and critique, because we just don't get that automatically, unfortunately, when we're working for ourselves. As much as I can criticize myself a lot all the time, we actually want real external perspective on things. And if you have the growth mindset, that will really help you to see that feedback as an opportunity for growth, to get the valuable insights for improvement, rather than take it personally, saying, oh, how dare they say these things. Certainly if you're asking for feedback, you need to graciously accept it when it comes. Of course, you can choose to ignore it. That's also your prerogative. When it comes to setting goals and stretching yourself, it's really important, if you look into the sort of the goal setting research, to set goals that are ambitious and aspirational and exciting, but achievable. And it's hard to know what achievable is, right? But if I'm not earning any money in my business and I go, I'm going to earn 10 million, maybe that's achievable in the long term, but it probably isn't from where I am with 0 clients to imagine even 1 million, even 100K at that point, right, is quite tough. So try to focus on getting your first 1K, your first client, your first 5 clients, your first 5K, your first 5K, whatever that immediate milestone looks like for you. If you want to publish a book, maybe don't start with a book, but rather start with publishing a blog article or writing a little bit every day. Break it down. We're not motivated. This is what the research says. We're not motivated if the goal is so ridiculously stratospheric that we just don't think we'll ever get it. Also, nobody can hold you account there, right? Because if I go, I'm going to do this amazing thing that no one's ever done before and it's huge, and you ask me, how's it going? I can't even tell you because it's so huge that there's no way of holding me to account for that goal. On the other hand, if I'm too I'm going to get 1 new client maybe next year. I don't really need money because, then that's going to be not very motivating either, right? So you really need to set milestones that challenge you to step out of your comfort zone, stretch you. If you've got 1 client, try for 3. If you've got 3, try for 5, etc., right? So look for that next level. In whatever role, organizational leadership you have now. How can you set goals for yourself and for your team that are ambitious, stretching, but still achievable? And then we need to find some kind of learning routine. When we're talking about kind of working from home, routines and schedules and things, especially if you're either completely autonomous and have complete full freedom over your schedule as a business owner, or if you're in an organization as a leader, in theory, we do still have control. We have choice over saying no and so on. You might have a CEO coming in and saying, you've got to get your bum in here right now and come to this meeting. But generally, as grown-ups, we are allowed to say no to meetings. We don't have to check our email on Friday night, etc. Right? So try to really create a routine where you are learning as a matter of, that's part of your development. I have shared before my 5 L's model, which I feel are the 5 different areas of life that are important to address, to set goals in, to kind of keep those spinning plates spinning ongoing, although they will require more or less focus over time in your life. So the 5 L's are live, love, learn, lead, love. Live is your health and well-being. Love is relationships and belonging. Learn is what we're talking about here, so that development and growth. Lead is your career and impact, and laugh is your fun and hobbies and spontaneity and all those crazy things you can do. So certainly if you have your own business, and certainly if you're a leader in an organisation, your job description has to include learning. Staying in touch with, again, market trends is not really where I'm too fussed about. Of course, we can learn that, we can, read those updates and so on. But rather, where is the future of work going? What are other companies doing with hybrid and so on? How is how is coaching evolving? Technology in this space? What do people need? Ask for feedback from your own clients. Find those mentors and peers around you and so on, but really find a way. Okay, and in fact, every year when you set your goals for the year, you can decide, okay, what is your goal in that learn category, right? So is it, this year I had an organizational, how cool am I shortening it? Organizational psychology course that I did online during COVID. I did a positive psychology course. Otherwise, it can be books. It can be being in a coaching program, mentoring program, whatever it is that you want to focus on. Sometimes it could be sales skills, sometimes it could be showing up on video, sometimes it could be therapy, but there are different areas for you to learn and grow as a human, as a professional, as an expert, as a business owner, as a leader. Maybe it's a mental health first aider course you want to do, a course on psychological safety for your team. Always be looking for those both formal and informal learning opportunities. Having a mentor, getting the feedback. Again, the 360 feedback that we always get in corporate, I hope you get. Maybe you don't get it yet in your startup or in your business working for yourself. So look for ways that you can still get that kind of feedback, literally and metaphorically, as it were, so you can continue to see your blind spots, to have that self-awareness, which we talked about last month, and to understand where your opportunities for growth are. So that's all around growth mindset. We've only got a couple more episodes in this series of thinking like an entrepreneur. We've got ownership and accountability next week, and then resilience as well to finish things off. So hope you've been enjoying the series. Maybe you've been dipping in and out, but we'll be talking about ownership and individual accountability next week. So that's an important one for me as well. See you then. Bye for now. The Outsiders Business Academy is a self-paced course for you to work through in your own time to learn and implement the foundations of building a profitable business that lets you escape the 9-to-5. So if you're full of great ideas but lack the knowledge and experience to turn them into a viable business that will actually support your desired lifestyle, or you feel like you're doing all the right things and yet you're just not getting the traction and results that you're after, you have come to the right place. I'm here to help you design a profitable and enjoyable business that gives you freedom from the 9-to-5. Register for the Academy and get started learning today at onestepoutside.com/course. That's onestepoutside.com/course.